Pivawuna, Nyakit, Janet, Halito, Sio, Gwana, Kunamante, Madawaka,
Yatte.
Yate,
Mike.
Kikadoos, Mike, Hanapi, Shoda, Stongo, Oshkenyacha, Stongo, Ataska. Good morning, good morning. Coming live from 1950 South Shepherd. Carmelo was on, but he had the phone call that he had to take. So I guess they messed up on his order last night. Yeah. But I had a great time at the concert last night. Cat Fest. It was pretty lit. Yeah. It was cool though. Kind of took a trip down memory lane with some of those hits. See, it was about five or six. Let me see. Nine Left Dead, which I didn't know, never even heard of. I kind of heard of Lakeview, and then there was Fuel, Candlebox, Bush, and Stained. So there's more bands than I thought. So, took a little trip down memory lane. Handed out some Narcan, some a lot of harm reduction supplies, emergency contraceptives. Pretty funny handing out, the Plan Bs to the young guys because they're like, I don't want to carry this around, but I need this, and they're taking it out the box and just putting it in their pocket. Like, go get lucky, my boy. But yeah, I had some cedar burning. Gave out all of our, every bracelet that we took was gone. Pretty quick. Some organizations came and took our brochure and made sure they got our information. We were next to a booth called Music Saves. So you know what? That was a pretty cool nonprofit. I guess a guy was once, had substance use disorder and he picked up a guitar. So now what they do is they get guitars, they refurbish them or whatever, and then they give them out to different organizations, to at-risk kids. So that's pretty cool cause. And they were doing a raffle, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, I would say at least 12 to 15,000 people there. Like easily 10,000. Like, you've been there, right?
I've never been, but I drove by Sunday to see how packed it was. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
cool seeing that many people out at Concho, though.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it was from the stage all the way back. I don't know if you've never been inside there, the amphitheater. Like you could probably easily fit 20,000 people in there. So to see that size of crowd, come out and it was. I go for the concert. I mean, like what we do, it's always going to get people's attention. People come up and they, give us hugs, tell us thank you, but it's it just hits different when like our products really help somebody.
Hmm.
So, the majority of everybody that stopped by, mostly everybody was looking for Catfest shirts. Yeah, they said cat. I guess because we're a tribal organization.
They just assume.
Yeah, just assume like we're the plug.
Just the party packs.
Yeah, just the party packs, the ultimate party pack. So it was cool though. It was a good experience. That's probably like the seventh or eighth concert I've been to out there.
Did you guys stay out there the whole time?
Yeah, me and Nat stayed the whole time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, from noon all the way till we didn't get home till like 10:30. So yeah, we stayed out there all day. And then, but then if you're event staff, you get they'll feed you.
Yeah.
So I ate a hot dog. That's all I ate.
I know AJ went out to volunteer with Boys and Girls Club, and he was eating all the snacks and stuff. He said,
Oh yeah, yeah. He came and sat down by us for a little while, took a little break, telling us about his experiences.
yeah, he was put on the GA VIP line, and I guess Boys and Girls Club had trash duty, and Linda seen him and was like, "How'd you get this? How did you get over here?" So Linda ended up getting her own golf cart, and Boys and Girls Clubs they were leaving, and they seen Linda still like driving her golf cart. And she's like, I can't check this back in till later, so y'all just gotta go without me.
Oh yeah, she was loving it. Linda was
Yeah.
loving it.
She didn't want to be on trash duty.
Yeah. Yeah, Linda came and gave me a hamburger too.
Heck
So that Natalie ate it, but yeah, it was good. It was a good experience. I just love seeing our people having a good time. Regardless of even if it took a little something extra for them to get there. You just like to see people happy. Like seeing my brother. Didn't really get to talk. And another thing is, I don't think people realize like how blind I am. Like how much I can't see.
I'll walk away and he'll still talk to me. That's how blind
Got to get her a bell.
Literally be out of the room.
So everyone's like, one guy walked up and was like, "Yeah, this guy's being stink. I keep waving at him," and somebody goes, "He can't see." He goes, "Oh, what do you mean you can't see?" Like I have eye surgery. Like I can't see. And then he had to like walk all the way up to me. I was like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" He, like, literally talking to me for 5 minutes. But I mean, it is what it is. My cousin sees me. He goes, "What are you doing here? You can't even see the stage." I said, "I just need my ears."
I can hear him though.
Yeah, I can hear him. He was just like kind of rolled his eyes like this guy. But I mean, for the most part, Natalie would hit me and be like, somebody's waving at you. And I wouldn't even know like where. Just raised my arm. Hey, 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 hey. Who was it? She's like, I don't know. I'm always asking her like she knows. Who is it? I don't know.
like she's from around.
Yeah. Do we have any comments?
Yeah, Drew Wilson said, "Good morning, Brother Bo."
Good morning, little brother.
CC said, "Good morning."
See,
Gina."
dude.
Good morning, David Deer.
Stongo David.
Go, David.
That's it.
Stongo at the sky. But yeah, it was a pretty good time. We gave out some Narcan, gave out some test strips, gave out, nobody was really grabbing the condoms and which
I'll be honest, that crowd that's the last thing they're worried about.
yeah. Well, it was an older.
Yeah.
It was an older crowd, so the majority of people that came by was like, I don't need none of that stuff.
Yeah, they're already they're already finished with all that portion of their life.
Yeah. But all of them, there's a couple of, crazy grandmas that came by. Well, I got grandkids now, and I'll tell them if you don't use them, then I'll use them. And like
That's a good way to make sure that they're staying good.
And we all cracked up about it. There's a couple of crazy grandmas out there.
Crazy, man.
That's hilarious.
Speaking of which, my brother James is a grandpa.
Yeah. I seen that.
Crazy.
The third, huh?
Yeah. Mr. Tres. Or
Congratulations.
Trip, or however they're going to
James.
nickname him. Who knows?
James Jr.
Yeah.
James Jr. Now there's the third.
There's the third.
That's pretty awesome. Yep. Papa James. Well, how do you say grandpa in
Output or Ockut? One of those two. That's grandma and grandpa. I can't remember which one is which. That's funny. Output and Ockut.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Papa James. Yeah, that's and I heard my mom. Well, I heard my grandma tell my mom this. Like, you think you love your kids, wait until you meet your grandkids.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that because it was the same way when I met my granddaughter. Alani.
Yeah, your voice changes and everything when you start talking to your babies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, babe.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just on because you can spoil them and send them back to their parents.
Yeah.
You know, don't be mean to that baby.
All the things we used to tell them not to do with us.
Yeah. All of a sudden, we got McDonald's money.
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, so that it's a very, that's what I was telling Marla. She was telling me, well, I'm about to be a grandma. Like, man, that's like the coolest. Some of because I think about my friends, who never had the opportunity.
Yeah.
They never had the chance to, and they were good people, They were good people and they deserved, I felt like they deserved, their grandkids deserved to know who they were and just never got that chance. Like I think about my aunt, I think about Crystal and Bush, and I think about them and their kids, like, man, their grandma would have spoiled the hell out of, because they were kind of spoiled, like she would have definitely went over the top for their kids, and then you just think about those types of things.
Yeah.
They deserve, they deserve to be, all kids deserve to be treated good.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's so, congratulations, Mr. So what is he, senior?
Yeah, he's senior.
Senior, James Senior.
James.
And you just sound old with that. Well,
Sounds
Alan's
old.
a junior.
But we're not having the third. We're not gonna do all that.
We're not doing all that, she
Uh, name him Ray. That's what you do, is you name him Ray.
As much stories as I've heard about Ray,
Yeah, that's why you gotta name him Ray.
At least the middle name.
Man, Ray Sue was the coolest guy ever. Crazy as hell. Like, what was cool about Ray Sue is I could have like maybe a conversation that when you're only if you're in that mindset, that you can have like just a comical conversation where you can just like be real with each other and crack up, like I think about when he used to laugh and the way he'd get all, he was like real, like talk with his hands type of guy.
real animated.
Real animated, when he'd start laughing, like, yeah, he was, had some good conversations with that guy.
Yeah, speaking of grandparents, AJ loved his grandpa Ray because he would steal AJ a bike for his birthday. He wouldn't buy AJ a bike. He would steal a bike around the neighborhood and bring it to AJ.
Yeah, thinking of what, your grandkids would probably have at least 3 or 4 bikes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, what I would do, this is, never mind, I'm not even going to say what.
I'm not going to give any ideas.
Yeah.
I think they're still looking for me on that one.
No, well, I'll give you one. What I did do, I did go buy. I went and bought my kid a bike, but I took one price tag off of a cheaper one and put it on there and like half price. You know what I mean? No.
Hold those.
Yeah.
You could do this.
I still paid for it. Yeah, just half price.
When they used to hang the tags on the bike.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good idea.
No, don't get no ideas. Do we have any more comments?
Lori Brooks says people will not.
People would not.
Natalie says, and I'd be like, but you might know who does need them. I guess when she was
Yeah.
at the booth.
Yeah. She kept.
And
Somebody would say, "Oh, I don't need those." She said, "It doesn't matter." Like, damn. Like it. doesn't matter. Like, okay, sell it.
That sounds like her though.
Yeah, like sell it.
Yeah, but you need it.
Like it doesn't matter. Like I heard her cut somebody off like that. I don't need these. It doesn't matter. Like God, yeah.
Okay.
Brittany said, "Those ladies were so funny. I told them that they were flavored."
Yeah. See, she knows what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And they all just thought you seen that lady put some in her. They were just the conversation. Like I had to get out of the way, so they, let ladies be themselves. You know how ladies are when they're amongst themselves.
Neokit, Shirlene McAbee,
Yakit Shirley.
and Natalie said Dave Levi be approaching them like, "Hey, brother, you look like you might get lucky tonight."
Yeah. You know, yeah. It's always, it's just you try to take the awkward out of it.
We'd always have people that come up and be like, especially when you're at the colleges and stuff, they'd come up and be like, "Hey, man, this could be your lucky semester." They'd be like, "It could be our lucky semester."
Grab that one,
Yeah.
just one condom.
Don't limit yourself. At least get 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, it if you don't put humor into it, like that awkward just stays there.
Hmm.
Like when you're able to use, humor and just kind of throw a joke out there, like it kind of breaks the ice. Then they don't feel so, like, there's a lot of stigma around somebody coming up and just taking a condom. And most people ain't going to walk up and say, "Thank you. I'm going to use this," like,
I'm gonna use this.
like they don't have those conversations. So it's always like, this is for somebody else, like, and then when you start joking around with them, like, "Oh, might be your night,"
Yeah.
like they just kind of, start laughing because a lot of grandmas came up and got them for their grandkids.
Yeah, the health conferences, man, when all the aunties be coming by, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you might want to hold on to these." And they're like, "Well, we don't need those." I'm like, "But you might know somebody that needs them." And they'll be like, "Oh yeah," and then you'll see them like grab a handful and put them in their backpack.
Yeah.
You're just like, "Yeah, that's for them."
Yeah. Seen that look in her eye.
Yeah,
Yeah, you seen that sparkle.
we know you're at a health.
Yeah. Seen that sparkle.
Charlene says, "Or we get to thinking about our grandparents and how they really loved us." I'm
Oh,
not a grandma
yes.
yet, but just saying.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Definitely.
That's a great feeling.
And then Ron had to say, "When you share your stories, make sure the statute of limitations has passed."
I know, right?
Wait. I can't
Yeah.
share that one.
That's a good. Yeah, my daughter was 6. Yeah.
Try to put a date on it.
Yeah,
Wait,
she's
I think
13
she was,
today.
like, 4.
She's 13 today, so yeah.
Nat said, "We had a ton of people come up and hug us and thank us for what
Yeah,
were
we did.
doing, and so many come up to tell us their sober time."
Yeah, one was 19 years. One lady that Nat had a long conversation with, she had 7 months. We seen a client from George Hopkins. When he got at George Hopkins, he had to go, go do some jail time,
Mhm.
and got out, and fell off, but got back on track. So got to see him and his wife there. That was pretty cool. Like just people, just random people coming up. I got 4 years. I got 10 years. We just celebrated, like her 9th year. And it was funny because, like, you can tell she's the DD, and the other girl has a beer. Yeah, she just celebrated with the beer in her hand. Yeah. She just celebrated 9 years.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
You're on
There
her.
was beer all over the place.
Turn up. Yeah.
Those aluminum bottles everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, but you love, I mean, like just random people just coming up. And, like we've never got that many hugs before.
Mhm.
And I think maybe too, because we had females standing up there. I think that had a lot to do with it, because not ain't no random girls just gonna come hug on some guys. But sometimes they do, yeah. But for the most part, it felt great. It felt great just to be there and to be, not. I don't think I'm there to get recognized by somebody for me being sober because I don't need that validation.
Hmm.
But to be able to, um, give some positive affirmations to somebody else who's in recovery. Like that does something for me. It gets me going. Yeah. But it's just a cool feeling, just to be a part of what we do anyways.
It'd be cool to have like a backdrop so people could take pictures with us or something, and like have a sign that
Be
shows
able
their
to, yeah,
sober time or something that says "Recover Out Loud" with us or something.
that's a good
We could
idea.
post it like this is what happened at Catfest, or this is what happened at Prevention in the Park, and
Well, it's kind of,
for the
you
ones
know,
that want to do it.
yeah, for the ones that would want to do it, at for the most part at concerts, I don't know if that we would get a
Yeah.
whole lot of, we would have a handful,
Yeah.
and we would have a handful. But, maybe that is a way to get to engage more with people.
Yeah.
Is kind of have, like a photo thing.
Yeah.
Cuz like everybody wants,
Everybody wants something to take a picture
yeah,
with.
everybody
but-
wants to hold on to that memory.
Yeah.
So maybe we should think about that. Get a Polaroid.
Yeah.
We got this camera. Yeah, I've been messing.
Oh yeah.
with it.
Oh yeah, yeah, we got her.
Taking pictures of y'all.
Oh
last Friday.
yeah.
Des was just taking candid photos of us.
Random
There was
Photo.
randomness all over.
Barry was my muse last night.
Didn't even know.
You don't even know if she's here, so she's taking.
She's got a little wall up over there. Like when I want to know if she's here, I'll just slowly look back there, and if I see her big head move, I'm like, oh, there. Sometimes I have to go, Des, but other than that, I'll just turn around and start talking, and they'll be like, she's not in here.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's what happens.
Mhm.
Like, they'll be there, then I'll look away, get into doing something, then turn back around and start talking. And then Darian always laughs. She's not in here, or he's not in here.
You were scaring them that one day. They're like, I see her. She's right there.
But what do you see?
Yeah.
Leslie Short T said, "Good morning, brother."
Good morning, sis.
Nat says, "I told Barry we should start taking pics of our recovery family at the booth if they wanted." And Ruth said that would be a good idea.
Yeah, just to find a way to engage with people more.
Yeah.
Have a little backdrop. Yeah, I think that would have been a big hit.
It could be just like a dry erase board where they can write how many years they have, or days, or hours, or whatever it might be. Be cool to just share that.
Hours.
Yeah.
Minutes.
Minutes. Be like, I just decided. Hey man, minute's a minute.
Well, should we just go ahead and jump off into this bad boy?
Sure.
I gotta leave here in a little while.
All right. Still in summertime for the next couple of weeks. I think fall starts September 22nd for us.
22nd.
So
So what's today? The 8th?
the 8th. Today comes from Mr. Joe Coyas, Stockbridge, Muncie. Uncle Joe. Keep your life simple, because the more you get, the more complicated it becomes. The old ones say, lead a simple life. The society we live in is all about getting more houses, cars, luxury, and credit cards. The law of worry says the more you have, the more you need to worry. You get a house, then you need insurance, then you need to take care of the yard, and the list goes on. Next, you may want a bigger house with a bigger yard, which costs more in insurance. Along with the accumulation of materialism are other gifts. Soon you become a slave and the materialism owns you. Lead a simple life and have a peace of mind. Lead a simple life and be spiritual. Creator, let my foundation be spiritual and simple.
Definitely.
Go ahead, Mr.
Thank
Boto.
you, Mr. Rebellis. What I automatically think about is, before I had these spiritual values, before I had these spiritual laws, before I practiced these principles in all my affairs, it was as if I looked at everything I didn't have. I was living out of a bag on the streets, basically. Going from couch to couch. Not a whole lot of ambitious things going on in my life. Whenever when you get so far into it that all you can think about is yourself. Well, like, I guess depending on the situation, and I have a lot of great family. I have a lot of people around me that love me. I could always go home to my mom's, but like, that would make me feel even worse.
Hmm.
But because, like, not that she didn't want me there, or, like, because I felt like I was taking my BS to her. Like, because I'm not going to slow down on what I'm doing. I'm going to go, like, but anyways, at when I used to sit there and think about what I didn't have, it used to make me feel like a failure. And I remember going, getting sober, going to detox, and kind of really realizing, getting real honest about my situation. And it was just like, man, I really don't know what's going to go on if I go back to Oklahoma. So basically, I told myself, like, I'm never, ever going back.
Hmm.
Like, I could feel like the sense of something new beginning. And I thought about, trying to build a new foundation in California. But man, it was hard to feel like that whenever all my kids are in Oklahoma. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh well, maybe one of these days they can all fly out here and come and see. Like, I'm trying to. And then and then the way that things lined up, I knew that I had to come home. I knew, like, it just didn't feel right in California no more.
Hmm.
I miss my kids. And, I did have a situation come up where, like, I thought I was making the right decision, based on these emotions. And when I get here, like I said, I was real honest about my situation. Instead of going anywhere, I didn't go see my old friends. I didn't go see, like, a lot of my family. I went and seen, like, my real close family. My brothers. My like, my real close family. I made sure I seen them. But then like, I went to the AA house. The 506 here in town. 506 South Barker here in El Reno. And I really, really got involved. Like, like, religiously. Like, really got involved in that group. Started showing up. Within within a year, I started was able to uh you know chair some meetings. Like, I really got involved in that group and met a lot of great people.
Hmm.
you know, uh, a lot of great people, man, that I consider, family to this day. And when I started looking at my life, I started working these steps. Like I said, I learned about these spiritual laws. I learned about the unseen world and how it's connected to the seen world. Like, I don't know, there's just something about doing these steps and starting to realize, like, what's really important. You start to realize the truth about your life, and you find happiness within. That's where my true happiness is. And I started getting more and more involved in our ceremonies, in our culture. And if I've learned anything, it's that it don't cost anything to pray.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cost a dime, don't cost a penny, like, you know, um, but be careful what you ask for.
Right.
But it's like I have to wake up and I have to pray for God's will to be in my life. Like whenever I ask for God's will, that keeps me out of my emotions. That keeps me out of, a negative mindset. That keeps me out of trouble. Like that keeps me grounded. And you start understanding that some of those things ain't meant for me. Like just imagine what my life would be like if I got everything that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where what would I still be thanking God every day? Would I still be leaning on him? And I'm not saying like he makes my life hard so I do need him. No, he gave me enough to appreciate everything that he's done for me up to this point. Even the bad.
Right.
I'm even thankful for the bad. All the trauma in my life, all the bad things that ever happened to me in my life. I'm thankful for those. Because then that showed me what good is. That it's like once you start practicing these spiritual principles, like it just kind of, I don't know, like you can see things for what it is. You understand things in a way that if you have an interaction with somebody and it's negative, like you can hear the hurt in that person. Because like they say, hurt people hurt people.
Right.
Like you can hear like maybe it's a trauma response. Like there's just so many different things, and I'm just not just sitting here saying like I'm just judging people. Like I don't have a lot of negative interactions with people. But I'm not saying I'm above them and they don't happen to me. No, what I'm saying is, I'm able to recognize um
I think your response to negativity is different than it used to
it
be.
is way different.
Yeah.
And it's like I can't even begin to tell you like how much that's changed my life. When you think about, I have a real simple life. You go to my house, there's nothing hanging up on the walls. We don't even have curtains in the front room. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't put up a blanket. Yeah, which I thought about doing 100 times, but like I don't want to be one of those people.
Yeah.
But like I think about what I do have and how I'm able to manage that. And I'm happy. That above everything is that I'm happy. I don't have a lot, but I got enough. I got what I need.
Right.
And that's way further than I've ever been in my life. I've never had a place by myself this long. I've never taken care of my bills and handled all my responsibilities the way that I was supposed to this far along in my life. So it's like I get that. More money, more problems. The more things, of course, the more complicated. That makes a lot of sense. So being able to, like, it starts with the small things with me. To me, it's always about all the small things in life.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with how big my TV is, how comfortable my couch is, or, like I have all my Sundance camping stuff in my front room.
Mhm.
And that's all right. Like, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm not, not a lot of people come over to my place, because unfortunately, I've had family members come over and, one brought a gun over to my house. Another one brought drugs over. Like, if I can't, if I can't trust my own close family members, then who can I really trust? Like,
Right.
so, like, you learn and you live. You understand what's important, and if anything, I've been free of the bondage of myself. So that's allowed. You know that's been able to trickle down in my life, and it's like I have what's important right in front of me. So I don't need a lot.
Mhm.
So that's how I kind of thought about today's.
It's good.
Mm.
You pretty much hit everything that I was thinking about, but it's easy to become burdened by trying to be materialistic,
Oh yeah, for
by
sure.
allowing yourself to think you have to have certain things to
Brand
be,
name.
yeah, to be on a certain level, to make people like you more, or to appear better than what you truly are. And I think some of us become so encumbered by that it causes us to have a stressful life. Like we're starting to push ourselves to, man, I really want these shoes, or I really want these clothes, but I have this electric bill to pay, or I have these other bills to pay, and
Damn
like,
electric.
yeah, maybe I can go just another week without paying that because I really need these shoes or whatever. Just the priorities in your
Yeah.
life are completely different when you allow yourself to be burdened by the world and by all these materialistic things. And this meditation is literally saying live a simple life, because it allows you to be more free. It allows you to focus on things you really need to focus on, and especially your prayer life and your spiritual life. Because if you're not having these burdens of worrying about all these things that are going to tie you down or burden you down, or worried about putting a curtain up on your front window or something like that. You know what I mean? Like this, it just makes things simpler. Like I got my place now here at El Reno, but I don't have nothing done in that house. And like, to me, it's just like, it's not on my priority list. And I'm like you, like I don't have a bunch of people come over or do anything like that. That's just not part of who I now. The old me would have been like, "Oh yeah, everybody come over," and I've been worried about how everything looks and making
Yeah.
sure that everything was in this place and in that place and everything else. And but now I'm just like, this is where I come. This is my rest spot. So it's not that big of a worry anymore. But we allow that stuff to tie us down. And I think living that simple life and to be in, I don't being content with having simplicity it's really helped me to grow to where I can focus on other things. Focus on your relationship with your kids, focus on your relationship with yourself. Because once you can really work on your own growth, and to realize that creator's going to be constantly working on you, especially every single day when you're talking with him and you're starting your day with those prayers and things like that, it really helps and allows you to see what his will truly is, because he tells you he's going to take care of you. And if you're not willing to allow that to happen and think you're going to control everything, it's just going to lead you down, a path that's not going to be easy. And it's not by no means am I saying that life is always going to be easy, but it can be simple. And I think that's kind of what the meditation is talking about today. So
Yeah. Think about what our people, how they like how many possessions do you think our people used to have?
and in reality, like, I don't think that we ever had that many at all. I think
Yeah.
everything was kind of shared as a community. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
if you ever had anything, maybe you back then you might have had like your own horse or something.
Oh yeah, you would
Or
have a couple of
yeah, and like it's just the simplicity of life the way it used to be.
I
But
know with like Cheyennes, like we would build Travoises.
Mhm.
And like, and just think about everything that would go on there, like all I look at old pictures and all them Cheyenne men, they all wore their pipe bags on their waist. You know what I mean? Like tied them to their waist.
Mhm.
And like it was real simple.
Yeah.
And I would just think, like everything had to be ready to get up and go
Yeah.
right then and there. But I mean, think about how simple life was.
Mhm.
Like Mother Earth provided everything. Everything.
Absolutely.
So to get back, like could we still, I don't know, the question that I'm trying to ask, I guess, is like how can we get back to those values? Like how can we get back to that mindset, and like is it even possible? You know what I mean? Like
Well,
consolidate.
it would be. I think it would be extremely hard because
Yeah,
we're
we're
so
so
used to
spoiled.
even the luxuries of having like running water and to
Getting there.
just to go to a sink and be able to turn on the water. I mean, that's a bigger deal than a lot of people realize, is because there's third world countries that don't even have access to that kind of water.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal for them to find a well or something to even have that. And now sometimes they might have to travel 3 miles to go and get water and come back. And they have to do it for their entire day. And so while I think trying to come back and trying to think back to that, I think we'd have to make some kind of modifications.
Yeah. We're so spoiled
Because
today.
like simple life for us is like the life we're leading now, but like if we were really trying to go back to like really simple life, then man, it'd be hard for a lot of people to make that transition. If you
Sure.
think about like the times that we go out into ceremony or something like that, and how tired everybody is after that week or that week and a half, or the 3 days that you're actually, or 4 days you're actually out there, and um to do that on a consistent like daily basis, I think it would take some time for everybody to figure out, but I think in eventuality we would be able to do it.
Yeah, I grew up in houses that didn't have air conditioning.
Hmm.
And I think about that today, and you know,
Back then I just thought it was just this is how everybody is.
I thought, yeah, it was amazing to go in a house like, damn, it's cool in here. Like
It was cold in there. Like,
yeah.
why? How do y'all stay in here? It's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we grew up in a house that had one of those attic fans. So like they had like a fan that was up in the attic that you could turn on that would force the air come in through the windows, and that's how we would get air into our house.
Wow, that's pretty fancy.
Yeah. Well, we didn't think it was because it just came on with a little switch,
It's just
and then we
hot
had a
air.
floor furnace.
Yeah.
You remember floor furnace?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we had floor furnace.
I
That's
think
how the
those
house
things
got
are
heated.
illegal now.
Yeah, I believe it because if they were
Hot as
turned
hell.
on, like you were
Yeah.
do not walk on over those things. But yeah, that's how I remember growing. That was in Enid. Whenever we first moved, I remember that was an adjustment. But whenever we lived in Dallas, whenever we were little, I don't remember having air or heat or anything like that. Or if we did have heat, it came out of the wall.
Yeah. The wall
So
mount.
yeah, the wall mount stuff. So
Oh, do we have any comments?
CC says right on point. And good morning,
No.
Andrea Alexander.
Oh, hey,
Oh,
good
hey,
morning.
hey, we Nat went and waited in line for the shirts, only to be told that they were already sold out,
Yeah.
and she waited forever.
That was a cool shirt, man.
She waited forever for them shirts, and she gets up there, and they're like, "We're all out."
Oh,
But I guess the majority of them were inside in the casino.
yeah, Players Club.
So, okay, I think one at the concert maybe costs $45 maybe. But to get one inside the casino, you had to get 25 points. $5 a point. 25, that's $125
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
for a shirt, so the math wasn't mathing. So just, so I guess they are having an online sale. So that should be today or tomorrow or sometime soon. They weren't even sure. But so yeah, because somebody, my Mama Sherry from Thomas wanted a shirt.
Mhm.
And when she came back, she's like, no shirts.
Crazy.
So people all night long. So since we're a tribal organization, do you all have the shirts? Like, no. We got some condoms.
Yeah. Got some Narcan.
Yeah. So is there any more comments?
Susan Stacy says good morning.
Good morning, Susan.
Shirlene says, yeah, and have to wait on our men to bring home a buffalo and then prepare it for supper tonight. Gaw.
That sounds simple.
Yeah.
Get back to it, Charlene.
Pretty sure we wouldn't bring home a buffalo. You'd have to follow us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like something I do.
Remember on Dances with Wolves when all the ladies were running out there to
Yeah.
butcher? Yeah, it'd be like that. Be like that sometimes.
Isaac Rhodes, he says the cat has a link up for the shirt.
Definitely.
Sweet.
I seen Isaac war crying so hard that when he turned around and looked at me, man, his blood vessels popped in his eyes.
Dang.
He was war crying so hard he started throwing his dubs up.
It was
I
just
was
from
like-
seeing you. It wasn't even about the concert.
Yeah.
Like, there's Barry.
I was gonna pass out. He's war crying so hard. Yep, busted eye vessels and everything. Is there any more comments?
Misty Hickson says the website went live yesterday and shirts are $20. Someone said
Wow.
$10.
Oh, it's
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they were selling for like $45 yesterday,
I believe that.
but they only had like a limited supply though. Oh, but yeah, there's one more announcement that I wanted to make. On Wednesday nights in Watauga at the
I think it's the Indian Baptist Church.
Indian Baptist Church in Watauga, they have a AA meeting. There's some men over there that found a solution, and I want to say it's either 6. I want to say it starts at 6, and from 6 to 7, these two gentlemen over there are trying to. They need some participation. When we took a meeting over there, we used to have it in Watauga. And that was one thing we were having trouble with, was getting participation from the community. So, I told Lori a couple weeks ago that I would, but then I had my eye surgery and kind of forgot about it. I shared about it last week on my Facebook, but go and check them out. Wednesday nights at 6 at the Indian Baptist Church there in Watauga. And I believe that's Lori's grandma's church anyway.
Yeah.
So there's already a like, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't hurt for some of the church members to go and check it out.
It starts at 6, it says. Yep.
Yeah, it starts at 6. So
That's
yeah.
cool. Randy said that Martha made you go home.
He wishes.
That's what he told us.
Now, they're happily married in Santa Ana. They have 2 kids. don't know why he keeps trying to put that on me, but
He's still hurt that she ran off with you.
yeah.
I still remember because I think the very first time that I seen you after you came back was when we had that
Yeah, it was.
recovery event in Watonga.
Yeah.
And you came up. I didn't even recognize you, man, because it'd been so long since we had seen each other.
I was all
And
fat.
then, and then, as soon as you left the table, I was like, "Who was that?" And Mingo was like, "That was Barry." And I was like, "Barry?" And I was like, "Barry who?"
I've seen these muscles.
And they were like, and he said, "Barry Botone." I was like, "No, it wasn't." I was like, "You're bullcrap." Like, that wasn't him. And then I started to realize, I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was him."
Like, he's been working out.
Dang, that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, he finally started eating.
Yeah, he's been working out.
Hourglass. Okay.
Just
We're
stretch
gonna end it now.
Oh, yeah.
Really rolling your shoulders. Dang, man. That's
Well,
good.
That's all I really got.
Yep. Good today.
Yep. If y'all could keep Nat in your prayers. She's gonna have oral surgery today, so and like she's in her 40s, just now getting her wisdom teeth removed.
Oh man.
I know,
The
right?
worst. I got mine when I was like 15. I just
I
know
got
she's
mine-
gonna be in pain.
19 or 20 whenever I got mine. And I got all mine removed at once,
Yeah,
which was dumb. That was not very smart because I was still smoking weed and doing whatever. So then I got a mouth infection. It was horrible. I was retarded.
I remember my oldest brother went and got his done. We had to go all the way to Ada when we lived in Enon.
Wow.
And so we went all the way down to Ada to get it done. And I remember him being so messed up. When we got back in the car to drive back, he was like trying to hang out the window because there was this nurse that was walking down the sidewalk. And he was trying to whistle at her and he couldn't whistle. Kept
Mouth
trying
all
so
numb.
hard. He finally just started going, woo woo. And I was like, man. And so, me and James are just back in the back seat cracking up. And my mom was like hitting him, stop. It's hilarious.
mouth just bloody.
Yeah. All his gauze is coming out.
I remember I got some ice cream after mine and I licked it and I was still like, I don't know, I was still feeling funny. And I just seen blood on my ice cream and I just started crying.
Aw.
I was like 15 and my dad was telling my mom, get that ice cream away from her. Yeah. So don't get in that ice cream.
Yo.
Right here.
Shit, if she's like that, you know me, I'm gonna mess with her. Yeah. Recording.
Taking videos the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, it was like we were there the whole time.
Nah, I won't. Yeah.
Nah, I won't do it.
But yeah, so that's all I really got today. Like, share, follow, tell your mammy about us, and we will see. Well, no, Victim Services is coming today. They have a message. I think Brother Carmelo's gonna stick around and have the Brother Nate come on, talk about their program. They have a special guest with them today. So if you get the opportunity, check them out. That'll be around 2:00. But we will see you tomorrow. I hope.